Coach Bricks here. Hope you are well. Listen, I talked about and asked in a poll about running. I like running 2, 3, 4, 5 miles, running at the same pace. Okay. And whether it's really beneficial. If you're an athlete, okay, play a sport, name a sport that you really need that for besides cross country or a 3,200 meter run, stuff like that. When are you ever going to run at the same consistent speed the whole time? Never. Now, I know what everybody's going to argue. Well, it gets me in shape. Okay. I can get you in better shape and actually prepare you for your sport. Okay. If you do sprint work, okay, and understand how to recover from the sprint work. And then when I'm talking about sprint work, I'm talking about 10, 15, 20 yards, maybe 30, and then hill work, some parachute work, some sled work, some things like that, and then plyos on top of that, and then some drills from plyos. Those are the kind of things that every athlete should be doing. They don't need to run 2 miles. I don't care if they're soccer players or whatever. They don't need to do it. There's no purpose to it. Now, if you love running, go run. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't care what age. If you like running, go run. All right. But you also have to understand that there are side effects to running. You put stress on the body. Okay. If the body cannot clear that stress out in a timely manner, which as you age, it does definitely has a harder time because you have more toxins in your system and stuff. So it has a harder time. You're going to age the body much, much quicker. That's why you hear about a lot of these runners. Okay. People have run. Um, I know a gentleman was asking me a couple months ago, hey, this one buddy of mine passed away, man. He ran all the time. He'd be out there 5 days a week, running anywhere between 2 to 10 miles a day. How did he just fall over with a heart attack? Well, he stressed his body out. And then the body collapses, and then you have heart attacks, you have other issues. That's what happens with the human body. You have to understand the human body was not meant for the type of running that we say. Now, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to understand your body. Okay, and I talk about this in my DNA course. When I talk about DNA, that everybody should get it done to see what kind of workouts you should be doing to maximize your DNA. Okay, what's best for you? The majority of people were not meant to run distance. Name one other animal on this planet that just goes out to run, just to run. Not one. There's not one animal that just goes out to run. They move fast. They like to walk fast. They like to move from point A to point B, and they love the sprint because they're sprinting after their food or they're sprinting to get away. But they're not going out, hey, man, dog woke up next to him. Hey, man, let's go out for a jog today. They don't do that. There's no purpose to it. You have to have a purpose of what you're doing. Don't say it's to keep me in shape. Like I said, sprinting is a much better way. Once you get back into it, lifting, plyometrics, fascia work, stuff that I've gotten into recently has definitely changed how I feel. These things can do just as much benefit, if not more, and they're better on the body. See, the body takes a toll over time. And everybody looks at chronological age as the indicator for most people, right? So if your body says 50, well, I'm 50 years old. That's how you start to think. That's not how the body is. The body has no idea how old you are. Zero. You might look in the mirror and it says, oh, wow, yeah, you definitely age. Okay, but the body has no idea. It knows what you feed it, what you stimulate it with, but it knows biologically, it knows what you are. So if you got a biological age test on, which I highly recommend everybody gets done every couple of years, it should show you where you're at. So you could be 50 years old, but your biological age could be 70, and you could be running all the time, but your biological age could show you that you're older. Or it could show you that, hey, maybe you're in your 30s. So that's the difference. Okay. Everybody should get it done because that's more important of an indicator, the biological test, and then I get a metabolical test. Don't worry about that chronological age to figure out, where I'm at and what I need to do. Okay. And I think there's supplementation and stuff like that, which I'll talk about in another one. How important supplementation is, but it has to be done right, as well as a bunch of other things. But let me know your thought process on this whole running thing, just going out. If you like to do it, go do it. But what I'm saying is, why? What benefit do you get from it besides, oh, I like to do it? Am I hurting my body in the long run? Remember, human beings were not meant to run like that. We were meant to, like I said, sprint to get away, all right, or go after our food because we're hunters and gatherers, and then walk fast so I can get from point A to point B, not jog so much because I'm usually carrying something. I'm moving from one place to another because I got to set up shop. That's how our bodies were designed. And we have to understand that. And you can't say, well, science says this because, like I said, science is so flawed. Okay. It takes forever to catch up to where it should be. And until people do independent tests, then you got to take it with a grain of salt. Okay. I know the new studies that are coming out with the heart problems. It used to be cholesterol, cholesterol, cholesterol. Now they're saying maybe it's sugar. Something to look into. All right. Maybe it's not all this cholesterol stuff that we thought it was. Maybe cholesterol isn't the enemy, which I've spoken about many times that it's not. But some people listen, some people don't. All right. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Have yourself a blessed day and God bless you.